Hello everyone and welcome to another video on JavaScript programming. Kaushal this side from SimpliCode, and today we will discuss callback functions in JavaScript. So we have been using functions for quite a time now, right? We know how important it is to use functions in JavaScript. Today we are going to have a look at callback functions. So callback functions in JavaScript are different from normal functions as they are used to make a function executable only after a primary function is executed. So we'll understand the importance and usage of these functions in JavaScript. Before we begin, make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel and press that bell icon to never miss an update on programming videos. So without any further delay, let's get started. Functions in JavaScript are a block of code that is used to perform a specific task. We use functions for different purposes, right? Whether it be a button click or we want to zoom out our image by taking the mouse cursor over it, we use functions for all these tasks. In JavaScript, we can use functions as objects. At the same time, we can pass objects to functions as parameters, right? So similarly, we can also pass a function inside another function. If I take you through the programming part of this concept, the syntax will be like, we'll go to a JavaScript file and the syntax will be like, we'll declare a function. Let's say the function is function ABC. Then here we'll pass a parameter. Let's say we are passing call as parameter for this function ABC. Next up, what we'll do is we'll call this function inside this function ABC. Now, what we did here is really simple. We created a function ABC, right? Next up, we passed a function call as a parameter to this function. And then we also called this function inside the function ABC. So this syntax is valid in JavaScript, and also this particular code here is known as the callback function in JavaScript. So if we talk about the definition of callback function, it states that a callback function is a function that is passed to another function as an argument, and that particular function will get executed later in the program. Now, you guys might have heard in the previous videos that JavaScript is a single-threaded language, or JavaScript works over a single statement at a time, or we can say JavaScript works in a particular top to bottom order. So if we talk about the sequence in which JavaScript actually works while coding, so let's take an example for this and we'll see the sequence in which JavaScript will work. So what we'll do is we'll comment this code and we'll start writing our new code here. So let's suppose we have three functions in a single program. So let's say we have a function as function1 and then we have two more functions. So let's say the second function is function2 and then we have function3 as well. Now, if we write something inside these functions, so we'll execute the program, and what will happen is all the three functions will be executed sequentially. So let's try to do it first. So what we'll do is we'll write here inside the body of function1. So let's say we are using console.log, and inside this we'll print function1 on calling this particular function. So we'll do the same for other two functions as well. So we'll copy it from here, we'll paste it here and here as well. So for function2 it will print function2, and for function3 it will print function3. So let's save it, and before checking the output, so what we'll do is we'll call these functions as well. So let's say we are calling function1, then function2, and then finally function3. Right. Everything we have done till now is quite understandable, and we have three functions here, and all the three functions will get executed in the sequence in which we call them. So here in this case, we have called function1 first, followed by function2 and function3. So let's check the output, save it, and we'll open the console in the browser. So we'll right click here, go to inspect elements, and here you can see we have a console here. So here you can see we have the output as function1, function2 and function3. So we have the output in sequence. We called function1 first, so we have the output as function1. What if we call function3 before function2? So we'll cut this from here and we'll paste function2 after function3. Save it, and here you can see we have the output as function1, then function3 and then function2. So JavaScript will execute these functions in the order in which we call them. Right. Now, what if we use the setTimeout function with function1? So let's try to do it first. So instead of calling function1 alone here, we'll write here setTimeout. Then we have to pass two parameters here. One is the function name. So one is the function name here. And we'll write here the time. So time here will be in milliseconds. So 2000 milliseconds here represents 2 seconds. This means that the function will be called after 2 seconds. Right. So this setTimeout function will call function1 after a specific period of time. That is in this case 2 seconds. What will happen is JavaScript will start executing all the functions and the system will find out that there is a timer with function1. So in this case, the system will leave this particular function on execution and will move ahead and execute other functions. So function1 will be executed automatically after 2 seconds. So let's check the output. Save it, and you can see here we have function 3 and 2 over here, and function 1 will be executed after some time. So I hope you guys got this. Here we have used the setTimeout method and function 1 will be executed after 2 seconds. Now let's consider a scenario where we have only two functions. Let's say we have function 1 and function 2. So let's remove this function 3 and we are left with only two functions. So let's say we have function 1 and function 2 now. Now what we want is we want to execute these two functions, but we have certain conditions. So the first condition is function 1 will use the setTimeout method and it will be executed after 3 seconds. And the second condition is function 2 will get executed only after function 1 executes. So till now what we have seen is if we are using these two functions and if we are using the setTimeout method with function 1, what is happening is JavaScript will keep this function on execution and it will execute this function till then. So what we want is we want to execute function 2 only after the execution of function 1. This is where the concept of callback functions comes into play. So we have to ask the computer to execute function 2 only after function 1 is done. So let me write this same code in another way. We'll use the setTimeout method within function 1. So what we have to do is we have to change it here to 1. We'll call function 1 from here, and inside this function 1 what we'll do is we'll write here setTimeout, then we'll pass the first argument as function, and then inside the body of this function we'll write this console log. Fine. And we have to pass two parameters here, right? So the next parameter will be the time. So time here will be 3000 seconds. So here we are, and we are done with our setTimeout function. Now this is another way of using the setTimeout method in JavaScript. So what we did here is we have passed the function here as an argument, and then we have the body of function 1 inside the setTimeout function. What we want to do next is we want to execute function 2 once function 1 is completed. So before that, let's do one thing. Let's check if it is working fine or not. So we'll save it, and here you can see we have function 2 executed before function 1, right? So it's working totally fine. Now what we want to do is we want function 2 to execute only after function 1 is done, right? So let me tell you a shortcut for that, guys. It's not callback functions, but it's kind of same thing. It will do the same thing as the callback functions, but it is a different concept. So what we have to do is we have to cut this function 2 from here, and we have to call this function inside here, inside the setTimeout method. So we'll paste it here, and we have to call function 2 inside the setTimeout method. So save it, and now if we wait for 3 seconds, and here you can see we have both the functions, function 1 and 2, executed on time. So both the functions are executed after 3 seconds, and this is not callback functions, but this is a shortcut for that. What happened here is when function 1 is being executed, the system came to know that the function 2 is called inside the setTimeout method. So what will happen is it will first execute the setTimeout method, and then it will execute the function 2. So what we did just now is not callback functions, but the functioning of a callback function is also the same. This is the same thing we'll do with callback functions, but the syntax will be different. Now, by the definition of the callback function that we came across earlier, it states that a callback function is a function that is passed to another function as an argument. So keep your focus on this word argument, and that particular function will be executed later. That function which we passed as argument will be executed later. So here in this definition, later means once the system is done with the first function, or we can say the primary function, it is now free to perform function 2 or the secondary function or the callback function, we can say. So we have kept it on hold till now. So let's take an example of that as well. What we'll do is we'll create a function and we'll pass an argument inside this function. The value will be provided while calling the function. So let's do one thing first. Let's comment this code and we'll write a new code here. So we'll create a function. Let's say a function is function person, and we'll pass an argument here. So let's say the argument is friend. Fine. Next up, we'll work on the body of this function. What we'll do is we'll again use console.log and we'll print something. So let's say we'll write here my friend's name is, and then we'll use the plus operator with the value of friend. So we'll write here friend, and with this we are done with our function person. Next up, what we'll do is we'll write here function person 2, and we don't have to pass any argument here. So inside the body of this function, we'll again use console.log and we'll write here my name is Kaushal. Fine. So next up, what we have to do is we have to call these functions, right? So we'll write here person, and inside this we have to pass the value. So let's say the value here is SimpliCode. That's fine. Next up, we'll call person2 and we'll save this program. So on saving this program, you can see we have the output as my friend's name is SimpliCode. So if you want me to zoom it, you can see here now. Here it says my friend's name is SimpliCode, and the second function says my name is Kaushal. Right. So this program is working totally fine. This is a basic program wherein we created two functions. And now what we want to do is we want the function person2 will get executed after function person. So for that we have to pass function2 as an argument in the function person. So we'll change the code. We'll pass this function person2 as an argument. So we'll write here person2. We don't have to use brackets here, so because we are passing it as an argument. Now we did it, we passed this function as an argument. The next step is to tell the function person about it, right? We have to pass another argument in the function. So we have to tell this first function that we also have another function which will get executed after this particular function. So we'll write here, we can use any name, we can use another name for that, or we can use the same name as of function person2. So we'll write here person2, and then what we have to do is we have to call this person2 function after this. Right. Now we are done with this code. Now we are done with a callback function. Here in this case, this function person2 is known as the callback function. So save it now. And okay, what we have to do is we have to remove this line from here. So save it now. Here you can see we have the output totally correct. We have the output as my friend's name is SimpliCode and my name is Kaushal. Now we are done with almost everything. We are done with the callback functions, but you might not see any change in the output, right? To witness the change, what we have to do is we have to use the setTimeout method again, because we want this function to execute only after function person. So what we have to do is we have to write here inside function person, we'll write here setTimeout, and then we have to write here function, and then inside the body we'll do the same. We'll cut these two brackets from here and we'll paste them here, and inside here we have to write the time. So let's say the time is 3000. Fine. Now what we did is we use the setTimeout method with function person, and inside the body it will print my friend's name is, and the friend's name is SimpliCode, and it will be executed after 3 seconds, right? So let's save it and we'll count for 3. 1, 2 and 3. So here is the code. You can see here the output says my friend's name is SimpliCode and my name is Kaushal. So this is working totally fine. So this is how the concept of callback functions in JavaScript works. We'll see more about callback functions in the upcoming videos. So that's all for this video, guys. See you in the next one where we will go through promises in JavaScript. If you liked this video, do give it a thumbs up. If you have any doubts, do let us know in the comments below. Share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe SimpliCode. Thank you.